Hey Rabbits, it's Trixie, and I cannot believe it myself, but it is September now, which means that the birth of Erickson, my first baby, is coming closer and closer. We will be parents by the end of this month. Can you believe this? Isn't that incredible? In the beginning, pregnancy feels like it would take an eternity, but at some point it just speeds up and the days pass really quickly. From 280 days, there are just a couple left, and it's getting really serious now. And even though I'm still impressively relaxed about that fact, there are some fears lately that keep coming up that I would like to share with you today. Of course, you're not all pregnant and you cannot completely relate to me, but I think it's still interesting for you to see what I'm going through, what kind of issues and doubts and thoughts I have. So I hope you will enjoy the video. Having a baby is such a huge change to your life that I think it's impossible not to be scared at some points. Of course, it's something you look forward to, it's something that makes you happy, but just at some points the fear really catches up and then you find yourself in quite dark places of your brain. This is why I will now share with you what's going on in my mind and what sometimes keeps me awake at night. Basically, I'm dealing with two different types of fears. The strongest and worst fears I have are fears that concern the baby's health and well-being. But there are also some fears that concern Eric and me and how our lives are going to change and if we are ready to become parents. But since the fears about the baby hit me way more often and way stronger, let's talk about them first. One of the most common fears I have is that something may be wrong with the baby that hasn't been figured out yet. Of course, we had many tests run, many blood tests, many sonograms, and everything seemed fine, but still there's this slight chance that something has been overlooked, like a disease, a body malformation, a disability, and sometimes this thought just strikes me. Unfortunately, there's not much that you can do against this fear. You could spend a hell lot of money on stupid tests that don't tell you anything, that are completely worthless, but in general it's better to just keep calm, I guess, and to force yourself not to go online to find out about likelihoods about bad things happening, because that just makes you more paranoid. Whenever I'm in this kind of mood, I just touch my belly, I tell my baby that I love it and that I trust it, and when I feel the little foot under my ribcage, I kind of know that everything's fine, and this calms me down a lot. Since the birth is coming really close, the estimated date is the 22nd of September, I have the quite rational fear that Eric will not be in time making his driver's license. For now, I have a driver's license, I have a car, but of course, when the labor starts, I cannot drive with the car to the hospital. And the hospital I chose is a little bit further away, so we would have to take the car or a train. But when you get a baby, I don't think that you want to sit in a train. And I also don't know about a taxi. This is quite expensive, and maybe taxi drivers refuse to take delivering mothers with them. I don't really know how this works. I cannot call an ambulance. All of this kind of stuff is spooking around in my head, and I just hope that he will finish making his driver's license. He is on it right now. He's taking practical lessons at the moment, and it looks fine. Of course, granted that the baby doesn't arrive earlier than expected, but I just hope he will pass the test and that he can drive me to the hospital when it's about time, when the little one is coming. Talking about birth, there is a lot to be scared about, I can tell you. Interestingly enough, these fears are not concerning me at all. I'm not even really scared about the pain that I'm gonna go through. I know it will be hell, yes, I get that part, but I've never been too sensitive when it came to physical pain, and there are people caring about you. You know, it's natural, it's something that has to happen. You have to have this pain, and you know the reason for it. I find it way more horrible when you have pain and you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know if you're gonna die, you don't know when it's gonna end. But giving birth is something that you know it's gonna be painful, and people are gonna be there to help you, to advise you, and you know it's gonna be over at some point. So I'm not too afraid of that part. I know it's gonna be horrible, I know I'm gonna suffer a lot, I'm gonna sweat a lot, I'm gonna scream, but it's fine. I can live with that thought. I don't know, I'm not having sleepless nights because of that. Actually, I'm not even afraid of dying during birth. There is a quite low likelihood of this happening, but even if it does, so be it. I don't know, that sounds really weird, I guess, but giving birth to a child, giving new life to a person that you created and dying in the process of it is something that sounds worth dying to me. I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but I mean, I have never seen the baby that is currently in my belly, but I love it as much that I would already die for it without any doubts, without any hesitation. I would be fine with giving my life for this little creature. And if this is what my fate wants from me, then this is what I'm gonna do. Of course, this will be really, really sad. It would be horrible, but it's something I can still find myself okay with when I think about the possibility that that could happen. The actual only fear that I have about birth is about the little one, that something may be happening to the baby. Not at all about me, but that something is gonna happen to my little baby bunny, because this is like the worst thing that could happen. And let me tell you, when you have this kind of fear, it's not gonna get better when you read about it. I read a little bit about it, actually concerning this video, to research a little bit, and I shouldn't have done that. There are so many things that could potentially go wrong, as always, like the umbilical cord being twisted around the neck, oxygen not being delivered successfully to the brain during birth, the little one getting stuck somehow. There are so many things that can go wrong, even if the likelihood is really low, but don't read about it. Just don't read about it. Let me just put it that way. I will happily suffer the worst pain of my life for this baby. I would die for this baby, so please just let this baby be fine. Let the birth go well and let my baby be healthy. That's the only thing I fear about, the only thing I care about. And I'm gonna be so happy when I hear the first cry and have my little one in my arms. But even after birth, there are so many things that can go wrong still. Like, for example, something called the crib death or the cot death, the sudden infant death syndrome. I didn't find a proper translation online. Something like that can happen, and people today still don't know what causes it. So you can just be super unlucky and your just newborn baby dies for no visible reason. It can have a really bad fever, it can catch a virus or pneumonia or something like that, and it can die from that because, well, you know, it's such a cute little tiny human and the immune system is not the perfect yet, and all of that is just like flying around in my head too. Like, even if birth goes well, there is still a slight chance that something may go wrong, and as I said, the only thing that matters to me lately is that this little one is fine, and I just hope it's gonna be healthy, that it's gonna be strong, and we'll fight through it. Alright, now we reached a point where we just assume that everything went fine so far. The birth went fine, the baby is fine right after, and we can take it home. Which leads me to a fear that is actually a little bit funny, because I'm seriously scared of dropping my baby. I know that I am clumsy. I sometimes drop food, I drop dishes, I stumble. Actually, during pregnancy, I stumbled 2 times so bad that I fell and injured myself in a way that I was bleeding and having really bad injuries. So how's that gonna happen when I have a baby on my arm? What if I stumble and just fall on my baby? What if I just like forget that I have a baby on my arm, grab the phone and it falls down and stuff like this? I know I'm clumsy, and I know that Eric is clumsy as well. So how do people not drop their babies? I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one having this kind of crazy fear, but it's definitely something that troubles me. Even though I think that it's quite irrational. If you have a baby and you will love it so much, then you're not gonna drop it. You're like a lion mother fighting for your baby. You would die yourself by falling down before something happens to your baby. And I guess you would never forget that you have your baby on your arm. So I guess that when I have my baby, I will not be scared about that anymore. Still, something like that can always happen. You can always slip, and, well, that's something you cannot control. So, well, yeah, that's actually something that is like in my head, and I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen. Another fear that is quite similar is that there will be just a household accident with the baby. Like the baby choking on a toy, a little bit of glass being in the baby food that I didn't notice, the baby hitting his head on the baby bed because there was a sharp edge that I didn't see. Sometimes when I walk around in my house, I'm just like, okay, this could maybe kill my baby, and this could kill my baby, and this, and this, and this, and this. And if I'm not careful here, this may kill my baby as well. But I guess in these moments you just have to tell yourself that everything's gonna be different when your baby is here. You will figure these things out, you will avoid these dangers, and you will have this kind of sense for something being wrong with your baby. And this is something that I just try to trust in, like my mother instincts of protecting my baby. yeah, I really hope that they're gonna grow and that they're gonna be really strong. Now we come to some more emotional fears, and one of them is that my baby simply won't love me. I've often experienced that with little children. Eric is one of those people that is always loved by children. They're like, this person is awesome. They don't know Eric at all, but he immediately makes a funny face and children love him. While with me, they're a little bit like, yeah, it's one of those other humans. They don't have this super cool connection with me as they would have with Eric. It's the same with cats and dogs sometimes. Not the same, but you know what I mean. Some people are cat people and cats surround them. They love them. Dogs are jumping on you because you're just the kind of dog person that they love, or you are not. And those animals avoid you. And I have the fear that this is the same with me and babies, that babies actually don't like me and that maybe my own baby will not like me either. I've never been one of those persons that was like, oh, a baby, they are so cute. Can I touch it? Can I hug it? Can I give all my love to it, even if it doesn't belong to me? I've more or less been like, yeah, that's a baby. They are loud. They are kind of ugly, but of course, this is not gonna be the same with my own baby. I'm gonna find my own baby super cute and super beautiful and I'm gonna love it like crazy. But still, there's like this slight fear inside of me that my baby will still hate me. On the other hand, I'm also a little bit scared that I will not be able to love my baby properly. I'm not talking about this kind of love that I already feel for my baby, but I'm just afraid that this connection doesn't deepen any further. Because when you give birth, there's something like the baby blues, and there's actually something like the postnatal depression that can be going on, which makes you feeling emotionally dissociated from your own baby. You cannot accept that you're a mother. You don't feel well in your role as a mother. And you just don't fit into your life situation that you're currently in. You're really sad, you're really angry, you literally want to throw your baby out of the window. Of course you don't do this, but I heard from many mothers that they went through this kind of phase after birth, and I'm quite afraid that this may happen to me too, because I'm a really sentimental and emotional person too, and I have my moods, and I really don't want to experience that. The fears I just listed were the fears that I would put into the first category of fears that I talked about. Now we come to the second category that actually concern Eric and me as persons more, or our lives. These fears are a lot different. Maybe you will even perceive them as being egoistic or as if I'm an asshole having them. But I actually think that they are really normal thoughts to have, especially when you are expecting a baby that you didn't plan to have. If you have a wish for children for a long time and then you get pregnant, maybe those fears don't bother you too much. But in my current situations, they rise up from time to time, and I think it's normal to have them. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I think it's normal to sometimes also have these kind of fears. Let's just honestly name them. The first one is that I will not like being a mother. I mean, I have never been a mother before. I have seen other people becoming mothers and being happy about it, but at the same time, I hear a lot of stories about people telling me how difficult and stressful it is to have a baby, that you will not sleep anymore, you will not eat anymore, you'll just be there for the baby, you'll look like a hobo because the only thing you do is trying to protect your baby, doing everything for your baby. It's not gonna let you sleep, it's not gonna let you rest, and you just feel horrible. And I have the fear that I'm just gonna be really, really bad in dealing with this. Like, I cannot accept that my free time is over, that I cannot enjoy my life as I want it anymore, that I cannot just go out and have fun with friends, I cannot just enjoy my day and do whatever I want, I cannot just simply make a YouTube video when I feel like it because maybe the baby is crying, maybe I have to be calm to let it sleep. All of this, like, less freedom, less sleep, less control over your life is a little bit scary for me too. I don't think that it will bother me too much because I'm a family person and I'm so looking forward to having this little thing in my arms and taking care of it and loving it and do everything for it. But this will not last long. This may be like an hour or something where I'm thinking that I miss my old life and that I want to live like I lived before. But still, I think that these moments will come up, and actually I'm pretty sure that it's normal to feel like that sometimes. Another thing is concerning Eric, because I just don't know how he will be as a father. I actually think that he will be an awesome father because he's quite cheesy anyways. He loves to have fun. He loves to be with children and animals and everything. And I guess he will be a better father than I'm gonna be a mother, actually, to be honest. So I'm not doubting his skills as a parent, but I'm not sure about how our partnership will develop when we have a baby, because there will be less time for us. We will not be able to take care too much of ourselves, of our partnership. The baby is just gonna be priority one all the time. So what will this do to us as a couple? Will he be fine with me only talking about the baby? It's gonna be always baby stuff going on, baby, baby, baby. We cannot just go to a party together. We cannot just go out and take a walk together. All this love-related social stuff is not gonna work out the same as it did before. So I'm just not sure about the impact that the baby will have on our relationship. Of course, I strongly hope that we will stick together, that everything's gonna be fine, that the baby will even like strengthen our bondage, and that everything's gonna be fine and we'll be an awesome couple, awesome parents. But of course, I just don't know what the future will bring and how it will feel like. So this is another of my fears. Something quite similar to that is that I will lose some friends because of the baby. Of course, I will not be able to do everything with my friends anymore. I cannot just meet in the mall and go shopping with some friends. I will always have a baby buggy with me, or I'll not be able at all to come with them because I just don't have time. I'm just way too exhausted. I have a little baby now. So this will completely change my life situation. And I guess that some friends will totally understand it and maybe even support me and be super enthusiastic about the baby, but others will also be like overwhelmed with this because their life doesn't include babies yet and they don't want to deal with that topic yet. So I guess that there will be some changes in friendships and relations to people all around me. The biggest fear out of category 2 would be Eric's and my financial situation, because I don't really know what impact the baby will have on our finances. Like, how expensive is a baby actually? And of course I am on parental leave right now, so I will get less than my normal salary for at least a year. And if I don't go back into my job right after, I will not get anything anymore. So we would have to live from just Eric's earnings from then on. Of course, I'm planning to come back in full-time or in part-time or just in home office. I'm not quite sure yet. The time will tell. But it's not going to be the same money situation as before. That can be said already. So how will Eric and I deal with less money? Should I go back to my job earlier, even if I don't feel that it's the right time yet, just because of the money? How expensive will everything be? Can we save money by changing some habits and all of that stuff? It's more like I wonder about it than I'm scared about it, because I know that we're not going to live under a bridge at least. But it's something that really troubles me. And yes, there have been some sleepless nights over this. Talking about the full-time, part-time and home office options I have with my job, I'm also scared that I make the wrong decision concerning that. I mean, I don't have to take parental time at all. After the baby is born, I could just wait the last 8 weeks of my maternity leave and then just go back into the job if I make sure that the baby is taken care of. But I know that this would be too early for me because I want to be there for my baby as a mother. And it's really difficult to figure out the right time to go back into the job, to let go of your baby, to let go of the family life. This is what many people mean when they say that you have to decide between family and your career, because both doesn't work, at least not completely. And I'm just scared that I either go back into my job too late, so that I missed career options, that I spend too much time with my family and my employer is gonna say yeah, okay, she's a family person, she is not ambitious, she has other priorities. Or second, that I'm gonna be back into my job too quick and just miss my baby developing and growing up. And it's really, really difficult to be confident about your decisions, about what you think about it, because both of these things don't sound really nice to me. And of course I want to see my baby growing up, but I'm also a really ambitious and hardworking person, and I want my job to pay out in the end, you know? So this is something that I muse a lot about. I sit in the bed, I stare at the ceiling, and I'm like, what am I gonna do when I'm at that point? And the worst thing is that you don't have like time to spontaneously decide that. You have to find a place to leave your child when you go back to your job. So you have to kind of know in advance what you plan to do. And all of this overwhelms me pretty often. At this moment, I really want to point out that none of these money and career related things could ever make me want to undo the pregnancy. If a little fairy would come here right now asking me if I would like to go back in time and to like not do what caused the little one to be created, then I would just get my fly sweater out and shoo it away, because that is not at all what I want. I want this baby and I want it now. I don't want to postpone it or get another one in a couple of years. I want this one right inside of my belly and I don't regret a thing. What I want to say is that I also consider these kind of thoughts that I just shared with you to be completely normal, especially when you have an unexpected pregnancy. It definitely sounds harsh and egoistic to say that, oh, my career is gonna take damage by the baby. But let's face it, it is true. It will. You are taken out of your job for a certain amount of time. And of course, this time is a time where you lose opportunities that you could have taken if you wouldn't have had a baby. But at the same time, you'll be a mother. The baby will make you so much happier than you have been before and add so much value to your life that I can just say for myself that it would be totally worth it to miss some opportunities in my career. I know there are people out there that think differently, and I still consider myself a really ambitious person too, and I will fight for my job to get into it again and to have an awesome career anyways. But I'm also so much looking forward to this baby and I cannot wait for it anymore. I think you know what I want to say. I want to say that you have some fears concerning your baby, a lot of them strong ones, but there are also some tiny ones concerning your own life. And it is okay to have these slightly egoistic fears because your life is gonna change. Of course, you have to live through all of these changes and to be a little bit sad about some of them too, to healthily adapt to your new life. Okay, I think I now told you really everything I know about my fears and what's bothering me lately. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for listening. I hope it was interesting. By collecting and going through all of them, I actually got a little bit more scared than before, but now having talked about all of them, I feel a little bit better again. I would be super interested if you have similar fears like that. Even if you don't have a baby, but only like concerning the fact that you may be a mother or father once in your life. What is striking your thoughts? What bothers you? What keeps you busy thinking about stuff concerning being pregnant and giving birth and stuff like that? I mean, you can be scared of birth even if you're not pregnant and stuff like that. I just want to know everything. I want to know what you think of the fears that I just shared with you. Am I an asshole having some of them? Am I normal? Is it weird to think that one of your worst fears is that you're gonna drop your baby right after birth when you take it home? Just share what you think and leave comments and yeah, let me know what you think. I really appreciate that you watched this video. Greetings from Eric as well, from me, and of course from the little baby bunny that's gonna arrive very, very soon. See you in the next video. Bye!